Hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back to another art stream. We're gonna get started here in a moment, but first we're gonna do a quick audio check. So give me a moment to hop into the stream myself and see if we are getting the correct levels coming through. Alright, so looks like we are good to go in terms of audio. If anyone cannot hear me, let me know, and I'll work on getting that fixed. What is up, Miniati? 2. Can't forget the 2. What's good? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. So let me go ahead and get started with announcements, and we'll kind of jump right into it. So, for those of you that don't know me, I do streams every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, unless otherwise noted, which does happen kind of often. But in any case, during these streams, we cover everything comic making related. So most of the times we are drawing poses, sometimes we do backgrounds, but basically it's kind of peek behind the scenes into what my process is, which, you know, is very unique to me, but hopefully it can be used as a tool and a resource to maybe learn different things. Today specifically, we're going to be focusing in on drawing anatomy. The general flow of this, for what I've come up so far, is that we're going to be doing some 30-second gesture drawings first and foremost, getting warmed up, and then we are going to go into 1 minute and 3-minute drawings, and then we're going to start focusing in on specific body parts. And this is kind of practice and warm up for me personally, because I've been stating that I want to do or continue on the anatomy series that I had begun from, I think, last year. It's been a while since I've added to that, and basically I want to be able to understand from top to bottom the entire human figure and how everything moves and relates to one another. So if that sounds interesting, then make sure to like and subscribe, because those videos will be coming out sooner rather than later. And tonight we're going to be just kind of practicing getting into the correct mindset and hopefully cracking open some of the books that I've been meaning to learn from and study from. And so I figured, why not bring you guys along in the process as well. Okay, so for tonight we are going to be using a website called Pose Maniacs. I am going to go ahead and put that in the chat. So if you're watching this after the fact, click on the live chat and you will see the link that I post. I'm looking it up right now. But I believe that this is one of the best, if not the best, drawing tool for learning how to draw the human body. And I recommended this a lot before, and unfortunately it did have some downtime because they were transferring it from JavaScript to HTML5, and they finally got that going, I think, starting this year. So that was really cool to see this website come back, because I remember this from quite a while ago, my junior high and high school days, trying to learn how to draw. So really cool to see that come back. Okay, and the link for that is in the chat, so you can check it out. Now I'm going to share my screen, so for those of you that are here or that come in later, I encourage you to draw along if you are also studying this in your art journey. I'm going to be putting up the poses on screen, and we're going to be drawing from them. And I will try to give maybe some pointers, some things to look for each of the different time lengths that we'll be using. So for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish and study in each of those cases. So yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But let me go ahead and grab the screen so we can get cracking with that. So we want to add a source. We're going to add a we'll do a screen capture. We'll add source and add a new source instead. Screen capture is fine. We'll add source, and we are going to do Expose Maniacs window. We're going to click done. Okay, so that's going to look a little crazy. We're going to restore this down, and we're going to do something like this. We're going to come over here. Oh, nope, do not want to do that. We're going to come over here. I'm going to drag this all the way over to like something like that. Maybe we'll have it cover up the page a little bit more. Let's see, today's pose. Yeah, we can do something like this, and we'll shrink that down just a little bit. Okay, so we are going to start off with 30-second drawings, or we're actually going to start off with 15 seconds because I want to show you guys at 15 seconds first and foremost. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new document here. Okay, so 15 seconds. Hopefully you got some pencil and paper or digital pen and tablet, because we're going to get started. Of course, if you ever need to zoom back to a pose or something like that, you can only do that after the fact that the stream is done. But we're going to start off with 15 seconds, and I'm going to tell you right now that what we're going to be doing is basically creating stick figures, and what we're going to be looking for is your shoulder line and your pelvis line and how those relate. And then we're going to fill in the spine and our arms and our legs, but we're just going to use one line for each of those things. And basically the idea is to quickly get the pose out and the structure out and the balance out. Okay, so let's go ahead and click start, and let's give this a shot. All right, so shoulders slightly slanted up, pelvis slightly slanted down. Then you got your spine, you got your leg coming out and your other leg coming out, and doing this, and this one's coming in like this, and it's already over. So these are going to go by quickly. So again, here we got our shoulder line, spine, pelvis line, first leg, second leg. And that's the thing with starting out with doing gestures, you're gonna have to figure out exactly how fast you need to go. So we need to go a little bit faster. So shoulder line, and then basically as you keep on doing this and doing this, you're gonna realize you get into kind of like a trance and a flow, and that's where you kind of want to be at. And again, you're not looking to create any type of beautiful drawings. You're looking at relationships and structure and balance of the body right now. That's it, right? And that's what 15 seconds is forcing you to do. It's forcing you to not put any detail in there. It's forcing you to do the minimum in order to start to get a pose to read. Even with this, you can start to see what is going on in the pose, and that's what's important by gesture. And even though these are just one stick figure gestures, we're going to add more and more detail as we go up in how many seconds we have to be able to get this going. And start to use one line, start to be really quick and loose with these lines so that you can actually meet this a time frame. And keep on doing this until you fill up the entire page. it's okay if you overlap other poses. Remember that this is purely just to get warmed up, and I'm just going to go ahead and clear that. Start with a new page. So again, shoulders here, pelvis here. You got this leg shooting up, right? And these arms coming down, arms coming down. And this is actually coming over here, right? And head. Okay, shoulders, spine. Right. All right. And that's it for our 15 seconds. Okay. Now let's go back to menu. Now we're gonna bump up the time, and we are going to use 30 seconds this time. And now we're gonna start to add in a little bit more. And what I want to do basically is, before we were just doing one line to represent the arms and legs, now we're gonna use about two. And so now we're gonna start giving this volume while still keeping this gesture. So go ahead and turn that off, and we'll go ahead and start for this next session. And then before I do that, let me just make sure that I am caught up with the chat and everything. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, cool. So 30 seconds. Now let's try adding in just a little bit more detail, right? So again, shoulder, pelvis, spine, leg coming up. Okay, but now we're gonna add a little bit of volume there by adding this second line, right? And remember your pinch and stretch. Okay, and that's it, right? Now 30 seconds is gonna feel a lot longer than the 15 seconds, but you know, the ideas remain the same about what we are trying to do. Okay, so, and look at these extreme angles. This is probably pretty difficult for beginners coming in, trying to figure this stuff out, but these types of poses are great for helping you with your foreshortening, and yeah, I would say they are great practice. So now hold on a second, I need to scroll up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so again, spine. Remember, you're thinking about curvatures and you're thinking about the gesture. You want to make sure that your gesture reads really strong every time you come in here, okay? Alright, so notice how these figures are getting a little bit more filled in now, but still very basic, and that is exactly what we want. We want it to be basic still, okay? Okay, and I just want you guys to keep on speeding up until you can meet that time period. And you're gonna feel yourself being pretty frustrated because you feel like you can't hit all the details and you can't get all the measurements perfectly, but what you're doing right now is you're basically kind of setting yourself up with good muscle memory, and so this stuff is really going to cement in your head, even though you're kind of doing it a little bit subconsciously. Hey, what's up, Maya? No, you're fine. We're just getting started. Truthfully and honestly, we're working on anatomy today. That's what we're going to be working on pretty much all day. And we're starting out with some gesture drawings, some really loose gesture drawings. Okay, and the general concept with this is to draw your shoulder line, your pelvis line, and your spine that connects the two, and then throw in the gestures for the leg and give it some volume by using at least 2 lines around this silhouette, and trying to be super quick so that you can at least get the placement of everything down, even if it doesn't necessarily look amazing. You just want to be able to get the overall feel of what's going on. Okay, so shoulders, pelvis here, arm coming back, coming down, of course, and using these, pretty much don't even lift your hand off the paper, almost, because that's gonna kind of slow you down. And what this is about is finding out the figure and the form quickly. So you don't want to be slowed down at this stage. You want to keep your hand moving, you want to keep fluid, and that's what's going to help your gesture really feel fluid. This is going to help your poses feel more dynamic. This is going to help you realize how to push and pull shapes by using very loose gestural lines. And it's going to take a little bit to figure out exactly how you like to use your gesture lines, but it will come through and your style will come through. And yeah, this stage, do not worry about things not looking correct. This pose is a bit weird. I'm not entirely sure what exactly is happening in all of it, but we're gonna try our best to kind of understand and draw that. So, okay, looks like that's time. Okay, so those are 30 seconds drawings. Now we're moving into 60 seconds. So 60 second is where we actually get to add in some detail, but just not that much detail. Now we're gonna be refining that gesture and actually kind of getting things so that we know that it's proportionate. Okay, so we're going to work on a little bit on proportions now. We're moving out of the gesture stage a little bit. So we're going to go back to the menu. We're going to change this to 1 minute, and we are going to go for another round. And this time we're just going to do, well, I was going to do 5 poses, but it looks like I can't choose that. So we're going to do 10 poses, but I don't think we're going to do all 10. May says, sorry I'm late, I missed you last Wednesday, but sadly I won't be able to stay long. Well, don't worry, because I did not stream last Wednesday, so you did not miss anything. I made 2 videos for a really dumb series I made up called TP Avengers. I'm practicing animation. Oh, that sounds cool. I think animation is really dope. I've tried my hand at it over the years quite a few times. I've done sprite animations, I've done actual like hand-drawn animations. Haven't done any 3D animations, but it's a good skill to have. Yo, what's up, Kage? Just watching in between games. Alright, that's cool. I imagine you're getting ready for your tournament still, so good luck with that. Wow, your rough sketches are so fluid. Yes, and I don't think they are necessarily good by any means, but I do want to stress the fact that you want to be fluid with these, and what you're actually going to notice is that your drawing hand is going to get more precise. So what's really cool is that you can switch to your other like non-dominant hand and realize just how much you've learned with your other hands. You can kind of use that as a measuring stick of how good you're getting in. Using this one line and becoming fluid, you think you're being loose, but you're actually learning to be more precise and have more control at the same time. So let's go ahead and get started with the 60 seconds, and let's see what we can do this time. Again, if anyone actually is drawing along, please share with me, what you do via Instagram or any other means. Okay, so I am taking my time a little bit more with these because I know I have a little bit more time. And as you can see, I'm trying to hit the proportions a little bit better, and as you just noticed, I goofed and I was not able to add in the head, but overall we kind of get what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the spine here. And basically with this one, I'm kind of noticing how that calf kind of pops out backwards just like that. And what it looks like when this chest is kind of puffed outwards. Okay, and this arm is coming straight up. Okay, so again, shoulders, spine, pelvis, the relationship between that. There's kind of a pinch on this side and a stretch on this side, just very slightly, but remember to keep fluid with these lines and get your gesture in first and foremost before you start adding details or proportion, and that's why we start off with that 10 seconds. So we are kind of in the right mindset, we're kind of already in the flow state of drawing, and so I do encourage this heavily as a warm-up. Alright, and I try not to erase for 60 seconds. I kind of save that for the next time session. That's when you'll have a little bit more time to erase and refine. I'm just gonna go ahead and create a new. Okay, so shoulder, spine, pelvis, leg, 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 leg. Okay, feet, feet. Now add volume by adding that second line, and you can see the volume coming out. And for this one, I really want to focus in on this twist. There's a lot of twisting going on here, and I think that's really cool. So we're going to try to make sure we kind of really capture that. Alright, and this is going to be my last one for this time session. And then we're going to move up to 2 minutes, or I think 3 minutes maybe. And we're going to stop with that. We're going to do like maybe 2 of those. And then we're going to start focusing on like specific body parts. And yeah, today's just warm up and study, and I'll just take you guys along that entire process as we kind of learn. And it's not going to be a super long stream session, but I figured I could do some draw along with you guys, and get to my practice afterwards, or study afterwards if I need a little bit more focus for that. And so yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stop right there. Alright. So in this next stage now, we are going to really be kicking it up a notch. Actually, I think 300 seconds is like 5 minutes. I think we're gonna do 2 of these. Sorry, gotta go. Goodbye, Megan. Awesome people of the chat. Okay, see you later, man. Thanks for hopping in. I don't have an actual animation program. I'm just making a whole bunch of sketches of individual sequences and then playing them really fast so it looks like they're moving. Okay, cool. Not really worrying about fancy programs right now, just simple sequencing. That's the best way to kind of just get into the I guess the natural feeling of it, you know, because sometimes fancy programs can really bog you down with having to learn a lot up front when you don't necessarily need that. Sometimes you just need to quickly get into it. Man, I should try doing a challenge. Should try doing a drawing challenge like this. I think it's really helpful. Yeah. Set a time period. And this is something that's great to practice actually every day. Even if it's like 15 minutes. This is one of those things that you can actually do reasonably within a time span, and so even if you have a really busy day, you can still get a little bit better at drawing every day. At least practicing like this. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 full body poses. Again, you know, we're gonna start with the gesture here, and this time we're gonna take our time just a little bit. Right, and so I kind of like moving in layers in this case, and now we're gonna start kind of building on my shapes a lot. And I am just gonna focus for a second so I can get into kind of just the feeling of this that I want to. I think what's kind of throwing me off is that I normally use a pencil brush, and I'm not using the brush that I normally do, and so it's kind of throwing me off just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let's grab this. I'm going to use this brush for the next pose. All right. And we're gonna try this now. And okay, so. I don't know. I have been drawing a little, I guess, haphazardly-ish recently, because the way I draw, I'm like thinking about how all these body parts are connected as I'm drawing through it. So I'm kind of, it's like almost like solving a puzzle. And so that's how I'm thinking right now, instead of the building up in layers, which I may do more of the building up in layers here in a second, but kind of want to take this approach and just kind of loosen up a little bit more. And also just changing the brush kind of helped as well. Brushes shouldn't really matter, but I have found that I like certain brushes for certain types of drawings. I don't know if you guys have found that as well, but for me, it just kind of helps me kind of get into the flow better sometimes when I have the correct brush. Like, I just like the feel of a pencil brush when I am when I'm kind of doing practices like this. Alright, let me finish off this back leg right here before my time runs out, which I feel like may happen any second now, because I've been on this pose for a while. But yeah. something like that looks pretty good. Okay, there you go. I'm feeling a little bit better about that pose than I was the first post. Why? I'm not sure, but I do like it better. And sometimes I like to come in here and give this a silhouette type of thing. To help pull out these shapes and forms, you know, something like I don't know, something like that maybe. Okay, we're gonna start with the head here, this, and again, if you guys have questions, let me know. I think I covered the basics of kind of just how I'm approaching gesture here, but of course, if you see something that you don't understand, or you're like, oh, why do you do it this way, then let me know, because maybe something for me to be able to think about and learn. Just like, can learn kind of alongside of you guys. So. Alright, let's just draw on this other foot. So as you can see, we are trying our best to quickly capture the gesture. Alright, let's go ahead and always try at least to dash in a few things about the hand, even if it's not perfect or anything like that. Try to at least get the gesture of the hand in there as well. Right, and let's do one last one here. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the shoulders, spine, pelvis, stretch, pinch, define the torso, add in the legs, keep the gesture, understand the overlapping, Also, it is cool to adjust when you need to adjust, and there's actually a few places that I need to adjust at, so that's what we're gonna do here. Okay. Cool. So you guys got to see that process from the start to the finish, right? Which is really cool. And now we are going to get into some more personalized study, where we're going to now how's everyone doing tonight? I don't know if I asked that before, but how's everyone doing? Okay, so I will keep this up here, like those gestures and those poses and the silhouettes, those look good. Now I want to kind of dial in a little bit and focus on just a few body parts and how they are interacting and how they look together. So I'm going to pull out a few books that I'm working from now, so give me just one moment, but I will be here. Alright, so I have a book by Michael Lauricella. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but the title of the books are Morpho, Anatomy for Artists, and this one's The Muscled Bodies. So we're going to do a few studies from here, and we're going to kind of take notes as we're going through and try to remember what I'm kind of learning. So let's go in for maybe the shoulders area. And I do need to shout out a person called John the Fisherman. We've had some chats on Instagram and stuff about drawing, and he's the one that recommended me this book, and I think this is one of my favorite kind of drawing books. I don't think it's very beginner friendly because it doesn't really go into like how to draw. It just gives you a lot of references to kind of study from and how they broke it down. But at the stage that I'm at, that's extremely helpful because I'm learning how to break things down for myself. So we are referencing this book heavily right now. Okay, so there's this muscle right here that kind of tucks up right behind the ear. And that's a really important muscle to know, actually, and I use that muscle a lot to help me draw the neck. Yeah, that one's super helpful muscle to remember. Alright, and I know my trap kind of lies right there. So we have the sternocleidomastoid. And I apologize for butchering names of these things. I'll try to get better with the naming, but for now, sternocleidomastoid. Okay, so the second book that I'm referencing is called Anatomy for Artists. And it's a huge book with lots of demonstrations and whatnot. And one thing that I'll point out is that learning the skeleton is important, but for me, what I'm finding to be the most helpful learning path is to first actually learn the simplified forms, no muscles or anything like that. After you learn the simplified forms, then do the muscles, and then after you kind of get a handle on that, then go underneath and draw the skeleton and understand the structure there as well. All of them are important. I guess there isn't technically one set way of learning. Whatever just kind of makes sense to you as you're going through and starting to piece together everything. So first, what we're gonna do is this very prominent muscle that I find to be the most important, that connects behind the ear and goes right down into the middle of the clavicle, and that is your sternocleidomastoid. Okay, so you do like drawing that in, and that kind of comes in from both sides, and it kind of wraps around your neck. And so what's going to be important is actually learning this and understanding this. So I think this muscle is most important for providing definition and just seeing it, how it connects there. I'm going to quickly draw the clavicle as kind of like this handlebar-esque shape that kind of runs right up into your shoulder right there. Okay, and what we're also gonna do is our trapezius runs right here. So we're going to go ahead and draw that in. Okay, so we're just going to learn these two muscles for right now, because when you're studying, you don't want to put too much in your brain at once. And basically what I want to do is I really want to understand the form and shape of these. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and study these muscles in different positions and when they're contracted and uncontracted, those kinds of things, so I can actually gain some real familiarity with what's happening with them. Okay, instead of just knowing them by name, let's figure out how these actually truly work, truly wrap around the neck region here, and how they connect over and over and over again. Okay, so what I would like is to do probably a side view and a back view and a top view. It's probably going to be the most beneficial. Okay, so this is going to be a quick back view. Again, doesn't need to be pretty or anything like this. This is for study purposes. So, you've got superior and inferior. Superior is above, inferior is below. So we'll do trapezius superior, right? Be pointing down to this, or I guess I should say up to this, and this is trapezius inferior, and this is going to be pointing down to here. Alright, so the main muscle groups we're going to be looking at first and foremost. See if there's anything else we can pull out from here. I think that's about good for now. Okay? Yo, what's good, Jam? Oh. Sorry for that loud noise, just dropped a book. What's good, Jam Pack? Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're just drawing our trapezius superior and inferior here, and we go in and draw this thing right here as well. You know, what muscle is that? Let's see, let's come back to this reference again. Six, 8, and 9. The splenius complexus. Let me take a look at that again. Cover it much in this book. So the splenius and complexus muscle kind of make up the width of the back of the neck. So that's about what we are seeing here. It would be that muscle, and then this sternio thing is gonna go down into here, kind of like this. Yeah, that is pretty confusing. Anyways, we're gonna draw the back of the head. And basically what I would say for learning anatomy is take it at your own pace. If it seems too overwhelming, simplify it. And when it doesn't seem overwhelming, learn a little bit more about the construction, you know. That's how I've been learning anatomy over the years. And my actual like comic book style is pretty simplified, but there is a lot to gain from having a really good sense of anatomy, even if you are going to simplify it down at the end of the day. I still think it's kind of worth it. Okay, so let's do that. That's here. I think this is a very interesting angle, and how you can see the front of the body, and that this arm is actually, you know, curving backwards a little bit, and so you can actually see this front of the body, which I think is interesting. Yo, welcome back, Maya. Welcome back. We are still going, still learning. What is the biggest struggle point for y'all for the human body? I'm curious. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the home page here. And I think we're gonna go for maybe just another 10 minutes because my computer's slowing down. And that happens when I try to stream. I want a neutral pose. and I'm wondering if we can find anything of the sorts. Let's try clicking on standing and let's see if there's any just really basic standing poses. I gotta say that there is a lot more here now than there was just a few months ago here on Posemaniacs. But yeah, I was gonna use this as a reference to turn around a 3D model, but I'm going to use an app that I have that's called what is it called? Pose Tool 3D. Because I'm pretty sure I can find a basic standing pose right off the bat. Yes, perfect. And we're gonna turn on the muscles. Perfect. If we can move green circle, that circle, skeleton muscles, guides gesture, random pose, reset pose. Oh, nope, wanna do blue circle, there we go. Okay, so let's check out this from the side and see the muscles. Okay. Yeah, stop moving. Okay, so we got a side pose, so we can take a look at these muscles again. Maya says, I have trouble drawing feet. That's one of my biggest problems, as well as when I'm drawing a full body picture but run out of room for the feet. That always happens to me, too. I'm in the same boat. By the way, I've been working a lot on my story. I recently discovered comics are not for me. My story will be in animation, which is why I'm practicing sequencing. Nice. I think, you know, every story deserves to be tried out in different formats, because some formats serve other stories better than some other formats. So it's like, format is important, and I'm glad you kind of figured that out. How did you kind of come to that conclusion that comics was not quite the approach you wanted to use? This clavicle kind of comes like this, and actually dips down more for this trapezius here. And clavicle wraps back around this other side, from this view at least. Let's take a look at this from a 3/4 view as well. Alright. So the sterniomastoid wraps around quite a bit. It starts at the nape, but it actually kind of extends backwards here, which is interesting. And the other muscles are hidden behind that. So this would be like this, and the sterniomastoid kind of curves around here, and of course the trapezius comes in to take over that, and now you have the inferior and you have the superior. Okay, and I think of anatomy as like, it's almost like solving a puzzle as they're going through and drawing it. That's been helping me, at least so far. Of course, I'm by no means an expert at drawing anatomy yet. We're working at it, but that's just something that I think about. How does each piece slot into one another? How does each muscle slot into one another? And then how do you find the flow within that? honestly, this is making a lot more sense as we kind of keep on going through here and drawing more and more and seeing these muscles in action. So this is what study looks like for me, at least. Taking time to just observe and take notes. Okay, so I know that it starts like this, but I know now that this sternocleidomastoid kind of wraps around the back of the head just like that, and I know the trapezius also kind of wraps around and connects in here. So now we are showing that. We're showing how the clavicle comes up to this point about and then wraps down and in. Okay, so at this point in your studying, when you've observed a lot, now it's time to see what you've actually learned by trying to draw it from imagination. So what I like to do in these instances is try to keep reference far out of sight as you possibly can. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll just go off what we've known, what we've tried. So we're going to create a new layer. We're going to just turn that off for a second, and we're going to go for it. So we're going to draw a side view profile to start, because I feel like that is something that I already know how to draw. We draw in a tube to get the start of the neck going. We know that right behind this ear, the sternocleidomastoid begins and comes right down into the start of the clavicle, and this runs all the way back like this, and actually kind of curves down a little bit right here. Sternocleidomastoid comes here, and the trapezius sits something like that, and so that helps me define this. And this also helps me pull out where that shoulder is going to sit. This is going to wrap around here. It's going to help me define this shoulder as well. I feel like we're slightly looking down on this character, so don't have this connection point all the way figured out. Let's take a look at that point. So let's see. So it was looking good. And this, remember, is the bicycle thing, but this can actually come down more like that. So that's where I messed up for that. It should be more like this. Okay. And how can we find that? We can go and send a line straight through this, and that's gonna help me find this narrow point right here. This connects where in the arm, kind of at that dip right there. But this is the central point of this, and this. And I was about right with that. Alright, let's see. Let me check back in on the chat. We're gonna start wrapping down here soon. Let's see what's going on. Wow, dang. I guess a few other people came in as well. Hello, welcome. We are kind of gonna be wrapping up here soon. But we got a lot of stuff done today, a lot of artwork. Pretty satisfied with the results. Okay. Well, okay, so earlier I had asked a question, how Maya determined to kind of change format that their story was being told in, and so the response is, well, I was making the first issue and it caused me a lot of stress. I get it. It consumed all of my time, yet I wasn't really getting anywhere. That is a very big component of making comics for sure. It does take a bit of work to tell an entire narrative completely through pictures. It was also very confusing. I was also comparing myself too much to my best friend, who's a comic artist and a very fast worker. I also have always really liked the idea of making videos and really like sequence drawing, so I decided to put aside the comic and try it out. I feel like a rock has lifted off my back. Well, that's great. Finding out what format you like most is, you know, part of that journey, and part of that experimentation, and that's why it's good to experiment, and I encourage people to experiment, because you don't know what stage of the process or what part of the process or what type of art you really enjoy making until you make just a whole bunch of art, and then you can be like, wow, I really like, you know, working with watercolors or working with animation or working only on storyboards and roughs. And if there's one thing that you really like in specific, it could be a good idea to collaborate with others or work as a team, and in that way you get to focus on what you really like to do and still be able to produce a final project or final product or something like that. So I think that's a really awesome thing to hear, and I hope that kind of pans out. I know animation for some can be daunting, so it's really cool that you actually found that to be a burden off, and that you have found a lot more flexibility and creativity and time to do that. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up. I spent a lot of time just kind of studying and doing gestures, and this was all about anatomy practice, and I hope you guys got to kind of take a look at my process at least, and gain something useful from that. It almost looks like my stream is maybe not working as it should be, so I'm gonna check in on that. I actually find animation less intimidating than comics, lol. Yeah, that's a good thing. I feel like for a lot of people it's the other way around, and so I think you're gonna be able to do a lot of things that other people aren't, because yeah, it's not something that people are, let's say, I know, it just takes a little bit to get into, to get used to and stuff. But personally, I love it as well. I really like seeing something like legit come to life and see your still pictures moving and creating motion that way is super satisfying to see come together. It's a really cool process, so I am here for it for sure, because that's awesome. All those little squares are my worst enemies. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in comics, and actually I've I made a short comic earlier. I shouldn't say earlier, this summer. I should say in the summer, because we're in fall now. But I had a lot of fun laying things out and creating the compositions and stuff. But my vision for what I'm for the story that I'm working on now is going to be kind of a combination between comics and storyboards, and I'm going to use that just for right now and to kind of get a lot of my ideas out there. And then, you know, if I, you know, in the long term or in the end run, making it an animated series, that would be amazing, but also maybe a little bit unrealistic. But yeah, that is the idea, to experiment with format to find something that really works for me. My art is very detailed, so I feel very cramped putting into a whole bunch of little squares on a page. Yeah, that's another thing. In comics, you realize actually how small you have to draw, and how much simplification that you have to do. Even if you work at a large scale and scale it down, you have to be aware that it is going to be scaled down, so you have to simplify details even if you're drawing it at a larger scale. But yeah, I think there's pros and cons of any kind of format. It's just comes down to personal preference. So yeah, try new things out, have fun. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for today, guys. I'm gonna do some last minute announcements. Where you guys can find me and keep up to date on Ignition is DeviantArt and Instagram. I'm trying to use DeviantArt as kind of like my personal journal. So if you go to my posts section of DeviantArt, you can actually hear some, just additional thoughts about either conventions I've been to or things that I'm learning and studying, daily sketches, that kind of thing. So feel free to check me out on those platforms. I'm also on Twitter as well, just don't get on that one that often. My streams are every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I will be working on these anatomy videos here soon, so if you want condensed information and not me just working through things, then those videos are going to be great. We're going to go through the entire human body, starting from the head all the way down to the feet. I already have some tutorials on the head and how to draw it at different angles, so if that's something you struggle with, go check those out. And until next time, guys, repent from your art sins, peace and love, and keep drawing and having fun. Some people are hopped in the chat. We got Brandon in the chat. I'm exhausted, so saying hi and gonna bounce. Much love though, peace y'all. Alright, peace Brandon. Yep, closing up. I feel like we do this to each other on all the streams. Every time I'm going in your stream, you're always closing up. But yeah, peace out, people. It's been a lot of fun hanging. It's been real chill. So take it easy. Good night, y'all. Deuces.